pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And that opening, the motion was made by, I'll move it, and second,
By me.
okay. All in favor of opening? Aye. Do you want to call for public comment?
Sure.
3 minutes?
Sure. I'll call for public comment on tonight's meeting, this special meeting, with a 3-minute time on it. So is there public comment?
I didn't get an agenda. There's somewhere around there.
That's for the regular meeting,
No, there's no
Jen?
agenda. There's no agenda.
This is
For
regarding the
this-
HFEDC.
Oh, good, very good.
Is there any public comment?
Comment and not question?
Is there any public comment?
Okay. I would like to comment that I thought that Barbara was doing a really fantastic job, handling all the grants, and I'm really wondering why anybody would even consider eliminating it. I think it's just a question that probably a lot of people are asking. I'm interested to see what's going to happen on this meeting.
Right, so the arrangement is that we don't, it was public comment. But I say this on behalf of the board, on something that you had mentioned. No one is saying Barbara Minetti did not do a good job. As a matter of fact, this board believes she did an outstanding job. So I want that for the record, that we believe, the whole board believes that Barbara Minetti did a wonderful, outstanding is the word, job. Is there any other public comment?
You might want to just note that the grant was a grant that could only have been written for and received by the village. That the $500,000 grant
Mhm.
was a grant that was only available to municipalities. So only the village of Highland Falls could have actually applied for that. Barbara did that, even though she indicated it was under the auspices of the EDC. In fact, it was a village board grant, and not that I have any say in the matter, but as the attorney, I know how difficult these are to get, and I know that she did an excellent job, and that I believe the village, I would be very grateful as a person if I lived here for that.
Absolutely. Okay, if there's no more public comment, I will close the public comment part of this meeting. Close the public comment. Thank you.
Okay, so you're going to now read this first resolution?
Okay, this is a resolution of the member of the, just so we understand, we don't know why they don't put an S on this, but the member is the village board. Resolution of the member of the Highland Falls Economic Development Corporation removing all current directors of the board of directors of the Highland Falls Economic Development Corporation and appointing new directors. Whereas the Highland Falls Economic Development Corporation, the HFEDC, was duly formed by the Village of Highland Falls Board of Trustees on April the 25th, 2016. And whereas pursuant to Article 2, Section 1 of the bylaws of the Highland Falls Economic Development Corporation, the Village of Highland Falls Board of Trustees is the only member of the Highland Falls EDC, otherwise known as the member. And whereas pursuant to Article 3, Section 2 of said bylaws of the Board of Directors of the HFEDC shall be appointed by the mayor of the Village of Highland Falls with the consent of the Board of Trustees of the Village of Highland Falls. And whereas pursuant to Article 3, Section 2 of said bylaws, the HFEDC directors serve at the pleasure of the Highland Falls Economic Development Corporation. And whereas after the resignation of Jim Modlin, the two remaining Highland Falls Economic Development Corporation directors are Patrick Flynn and Gus Kutsaravis. And whereas on June 22, 2016, the Highland Falls Economic Development Corporation received correspondence from the State of New York Authority's Budget Office notifying the Highland Falls Economic Development Corporation that it was an authority under the New York State law and subject to public disclosure, reporting, and corporate governance provisions of the public authorities law, including but not limited to 1, an annual budget and the multi-year financial plan. And 2, the annual report containing, among other information, financial summaries of the corporation and the formation of outstanding projects and debt, public transactions, salaries, benefits, and compensation paid to staff and the board members, and the governance practices of the corporation. 3, the annual independent audit of the corporation. 4, report of the corporation's procurement contracts and investments. And 5, all information to be made on public, on the corporation website or on a dedicated webpage on the village website. 6, the Highland Falls EDC was required to register and submit these reports through the Public Authorities Reporting Information System. Whereas these reports were due to the state within 90 days of the end of the fiscal year, and the budget report was due 60 days in advance of the fiscal year. And whereas no reports were filed by the Highland Falls EDC in violation of the Public Authorities Law, and whereas pursuant to Article 3, Section 2C, the Highland Falls Economic Development Corporation's bylaws, all directors were responsible to participate in training approved by New York State to facilitate their understanding of their legal, fiduciary, financial, and ethical responsibilities as the directors within 1 year of the appointment, and have failed to do so in the violations of the bylaws. And whereas the Highland Falls Economic Development Corporation was required under Article 7, Section 2 of the bylaws to keep, among other things, a complete contemporaneous record of accounts, books, minutes, statements of the proceedings of the Board of Directors, and make those records available to the public and to the member, and has not done so in violation of the bylaws. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the member hereby finds and determines that the failure of the Board of Directors of the Highland Falls Economic Development Corporation to comply with New York State filing requirements and its failure to comply with its duties under the Highland Falls Economic Development Corporation bylaws constitutes a liability to the Village of Highland Falls and its residents. Be it further resolved that pursuant to the authority vested in the Village of Highland Falls Board of Trustees as the sole member of the Highland Falls Economic Development Corporation under Article 3, Section 2 of the Highland Falls Economic Development Bylaws, the member hereby removes the remaining directors of the Highland Falls EDC Board of Directors, Patrick Flynn, Gus Kutsaratus, and appoints a new Highland Falls Economic Development Corporation Board of Trustees as follows. 1, Joseph D'Onofrio. 2, Mervyn Livesey. 3, James Ramus. May I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by, do I say trustee?
Yes.
Trustee Livesey, is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by trustee Howard. May I have roll call?
Yes.
Trustee Howard,
Go ahead, Gina.
Trustee Howard,
Aye.
Trustee Livesey,
Aye.
Trustee Ramus,
Aye.
Trustee Murphy,
Aye.
Mayor D'Onofrio.
Aye. Motion passes.
Okay, now, you want to close the meeting?
Yes, can I close this meeting at 6:45?
You'll want a motion on that?
And can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to close the meeting.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Charlie said.
Charlie Murphy seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Right now, you're going to make a motion to open the meeting of the Highland Falls EDC Board of Directors. You have a motion on that?
So may I have a motion to open up, we just closed one meeting, I need to open up a second meeting of the Highland Falls EDC Board of Directors.
Make a motion.
Motion by trustee Livesey, seconded by trustee Ramus. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And only Mr. Livesey, Mr. D'Onofrio, and Mr. Ramus vote on this section. And the next resolution of the HFEDC will be to appoint Joseph D'Onofrio as chairman of the Board of Directors. So you should have that as number 2.
I have it here, yes, do you want me to read it, or?
Yes.
Okay, the resolution of the Board of Directors of the Highland Falls Economic Development Corporation electing Joseph D'Onofrio chairman of the Board of Directors. a duly convened meeting of the Board of Directors of the Highland Falls Economic Development Corporation.
Need a nomination?
Will one of you nominate me as chairman?
I'll nominate Joe.
Trustee Merv Lizzie nominated Joseph D'Onofrio, chairman of the Board of Directors. The nomination was seconded by
Second.
Trustee James Ramus. On a roll call vote of the Board of Directors, hereby elects Joseph D'Onofrio, chairman of the Board of Directors. May I have,
Trustee Livesey?
Aye.
Trustee Ramus?
Aye.
Mayor D'Onofrio?
aye.
And that actually was made by directors, Livesey, and director.
I'm sorry, not trustees, directors Livesey and directors Ramus.
Okay, now, you'll need a motion to dissolve the EDC.
Plan of disillusionment of the Highland Falls Economic Development Corporation. The Board of Directors of the Highland Falls Economic Development Corporation does hereby resolve the Highland Falls Economic Development Corporation be resolved. The direct,
Dissolve, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry,
Be dissolved.
be dissolved. The directors agree to this resolution at a special meeting duly conveyed on the 18th of December 2017 by unanimous written consent. The directors determined that the disillusionment was advisable and in the best interest of the corporation. They adopted the following plan. 1. The member of the Highland Falls Economic Development Corporation, the Village of Highland Falls Board of Trustees, approved of this plan by written resolution dated December 18, 2017, attached hereto. 2. Since the date of the incorporation on April 26, 2016, the Highland Falls Economic Development Corporation has never been funded and has never had any assets. 3. The Highland Falls Economic Development Corporation has no assets or liabilities. 4. A certificate of disillusionment shall be signed by an authorized director, and all required approvals shall be attached thereto.
Now,
May-
you'll need a motion to accept this plan of dissolution,
I'll make a motion to accept this plan of dissolution.
and a second.
Second.
And you will also appoint, authorize Chairman D'Onofrio to sign the certification. So by that same
I'll make a motion to appoint Chairman D'Onofrio to sign this application.
second.
I second that.
Okay, so
May I have, I need vote?
you'll want a roll call.
Roll call,
Director Livesey?
Aye.
Director Ramus?
Aye.
Chairman D'Onofrio?
aye.
Okay, so that's now accepted. And you will be signing that in your role. And at that, you can now close the meeting of the Highland Falls EDC Board of Directors. Motion to close?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Close the meeting.
Yes,
All in favor?
yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And then what you'll do is when you open the regular Board of Trustees meeting, you will resolve to accept the Highland Falls EDC plan of dissolution, and I believe you should have a resolution for that as well.
That's this last resolution.
That's the last resolution, and you'll do that first thing in your new business section of the meeting.
So this meeting is closed, correct?
Yes.
Okay. This meeting is closed, and I thank everyone.
Can we clarify one